Hello, it's Mara from Houseplants, New Jersey. So today I am going to plant up. I have a Scindapsus, Jade, Satin, Aurea, Variegated, and right now it's in sphagnum moss. So we're gonna remove the sphagnum moss as much as we possibly can, and I'm gonna put it into LECA. Also, there are aerial roots on this right here and right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off all this sphagnum moss as much as I possibly can. Some of the roots might come off. These roots are really nice, actually. Do I want to do this? No. But I kind of have to because I want it in LECA. So I am pulling off the sphagnum moss. And this is why I don't really prefer root in sphagnum moss, because sphagnum moss takes a lot to get off, and it does remove some of those roots. And when you try to remove the medium, they rot out a little bit. Let's get it off. That one I just pulled off a root. I'm getting off as much as I possibly can. Actually, I think I'm gonna bring this over the sink and rinse it off. Okay, so I got off everything. I actually blasted those roots. Look how clean they are now. I mean, those look great. So, what we're going to do is now there's the roots here. There's an aerial root here right by this leaf. I'm not going to touch that. But then in between this aerial root and this stem here, right here, there's an area where I'm cutting like right in between there. Okay. So that I could have two plants out of this one. I'm spraying it down. I'm spraying down my scissors with alcohol. This is 91%. I use 91% just because it dries a little faster. Okay. So that's dry already. We're going to go into here. I'm going to cut it. This is what's going to root into the medium. Okay. And now that I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to cut it again. Yeah, I am. So we're going to cut it again. I have 3 plants now. They're all going into the LECA, and there's like 3 leaves with an offshoot. That's it. Okay. So I have a dessert cup here. Now in this dessert cup, I'm just going to put my plants in. 1, 2, 3. They're all like, I like the leaves facing the same direction. And then I'm just going to be putting the LECA in. And they're going to form like water roots. Make sure that LECA is making contact with those aerial roots. That is extremely important. And we're going to have to spread them out. And then we're going to cover up all the area roots. Now, I like using smaller LECA. I feel like it fills the gaps a little bit better. Some people like bigger LECA, but I like the smaller LECA. I feel like it just really fills in all those gaps. So this is our plant now. And this is, which I'm going to take the label off of it, the Scindapsus, Jade, Satin, Aurea, Variegated. And we're going to put it right on this cup right here. And that's it. So now I know exactly what that is. And that's it. And then we're going to water it in. And I'm only watering it about halfway up. Because now this plant is going to grow water roots. All right. So halfway up and you're done. Now you just let it thrive. You put it under a grow light. You're good to go. I mean, it's really not that hard. In the beginning of this year, I was talking about LECA, and I actually had no intention of ever using LECA. But now that I see the benefits and how much easier it is, and how much more humidity is around the plants that need humidity, and um, and how like you don't have to water them as often because the LECA holds that the nutrients that you actually, if you put fertilizer in here, like a hydroponics or a synthetic, if you put that in LECA, it will feed it into the plant, which I love. I think that's just the coolest thing ever. And yeah, so I would have to say LECA is pretty awesome. Not that I don't use soil and orchid bark and horticultural charcoal and perlite. I still use all that stuff. But for plants like these, definitely go for it. These are thirsty little guys. All right. All right. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you and have a good night.